up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. Just twist your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak my mind. Oh.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to episode 43 of Two Peas in a Podcast. And as usual, my guest will be here. And actually, he will be leading this topic today once he gets here on target training. But of course, before we get into that, we want to get into a couple logistics, starting off with good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming this morning. We're going to have a great conversation this morning, and maybe you'll learn something about target training. I can give you heads up. When Dre brought this subject up and he said to me, what do you think about the subject? It's something that you never hear me talk about when it comes to my animals, because it's a technique that I honestly never ever had to use. Specifically knowing that my animals are intelligent enough to understand the feeding process. And I am a fond believer that for so many years, these animals were underestimated. And my goal 2 years ago was to get them to a point where people see them different. And I can see that. I can see where more people show how they can naturally handle their retics now. You didn't see that 2 years ago. So my goal has been met and it's working. And I think that once people get to see that a little bit more, and see it with other people, because there are still a group of people, a lot of people who think what I do is exceptional, and it's not. I believe you can do this with every single animal, and I challenge people who purchase my retics to try it my way. Don't listen to what you can't do with them and things like that, because if I did that, you would not see the relationship I had with them today. But so many things that I do that people told me you would never be able to do. So with that being said, I just keep everybody to be mindful that these are apex predators. But if you're getting them from me, they're not even bitey babies. Anybody who has already purchased one from me will tell you that, because I start to handle your snake the moment they come out the egg. Hell, some of them I was already fiddling with their heads and making them not headshot in the egg. Even as they get older and they're getting the development, because your snake will develop along the way where their personalities will shift to their sides. Hey, Dre, their personalities will shift to their sides. So I have 4 of them, and actually Dre's is one of them. 4 retics that had a full response from day one. They will eat anything you put in there. You can put a piece of chicken in there. You can put an ASF. You can put a red, frozen thawed, whatever. Those 4, for whatever reason, they were beasts. But they still, Dre, you can still pick your snake up. Like, you can still go in there and look at her. She realizes, okay, this food don't have what I want, and pick her up. So I would encourage everybody that you want to make it a habit to create some type of tap training, but we're going to be talking about target training today. And even with tap training, with my retics, my tap, and Dre will contest to that, is giving them a moment to think. I'll pull the drawer open, I'll stand back, look at them. They'll raise their head up and they'll stand there for but 15 seconds, put the head down, pick them up. So everybody has a different method. But I wanted to, with the babies, start the method early. So, because you got to remember, when I got all of my retics, they were like 3 to 4 months old. So those 3 months prior, it was the breeder's job to make them prepared for me. So I never had to tame them down out the egg. So this was a new experience for me. My new experiences teaches me that this is even better. You being the one who's taming them down from the egg. So we're going to talk about it. Like I said, Dre's going to lead this convo. I want to say hi to Stan, who was number 1 in the chat. So the screen shows, because I don't want no stuff if it was keys, but the screen shows that it was Stan. That's right. Smash the like button now. Hey, Ken. It was so good seeing everybody at Jeremy's cookout. I had a ball, as you can tell. But I had a better bowl this time because Babe was with me, so I could literally drink. So y'all got to see the turn up all the way up, Nicole, on Saturday, and it was so much fun. Adam and Phil playing the band was just amazing. Good seeing Dawn D. I love the moment that she captured Dawn D of that moment, because it was a raw moment and she got it real good. That's right, the Dundada. That's exactly what I said when I saw you. Yes, we had a good time. Good seeing you, Ken. The food was amazing. Again, hey, bro. Still up in Jersey. Should be on your way home now, right? Or maybe later. That's the only thing, is that, some airlines, we didn't get a chance to see our brother. And everybody was looking forward to that, but he got to spend quality time with family. So that's amazing. It was just a nice time. Like I said, Jeremy will definitely have to do something different next year, because it was quite a bit more people than from before. Good morning, Bosa. If you notice, keys, Bosa, like some people got a little symbol next to their names. They are channel members. They come with additional perks. They get behind the scenes stuff that I don't show with the retics and things like that in public. But yeah, become a member of the channel, enjoy the perks, and anything that you pay into the channel and you purchase a snake off of Wolf Market or directly from me, that money actually can go towards, if that's your choice, towards that animal. So keep that in mind. So, and July 15th, we will be vending at the Gettysburg, PA reptile show. So for anyone who purchased a reticulated python, if it's on Wolf Market today, you can take $300 off that price if you're going to pick it up from Gettysburg. You're saving the shipping hassle and makes it more convenient to get that to you. With the ball pythons, if you see a ball python that's available on Wolf Market and that is posted, and there's still some that's not posted. So just keep watching it daily, because I do post daily. But anytime between now and the day of the show, if you purchase anything that you're picking up from Gettysburg, if it's a reticulated python, you can take $300 off the listed Wolf Market price. If it's a ball python, you can take $50 off that listed price. So just a heads up with that. And then a happy 4th of July. What is everybody planning on doing with their family? My family, for the first time, my mother's side of the family is having a family reunion, which I can't remember when is the last time we had one. So I'm going to have to show up for that. What are y'all doing, Dre?
Working.
On the 4th?
Yeah, I work in healthcare. You don't get no days off.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, well, first of all, let's not tell this lie. You get days off. You get days off when days are off. So you don't tell no lie.
We don't get no days
You get
off.
that's possible. Okay,
out
so
of
he don't get a day
365
that he
days,
gets the clock out. Is it? That's what I guess that's what he's trying.
365 days.
No,
My
you
job
lying.
closes
Aren't
2
you going
days a
to? Are you
year.
ready to go to California this weekend?
I had to take those days off. I said we don't get days off. I took
Oh.
them. That's different. That's different.
Well,
4th of
shout
July
out
ain't
to
worth.
everybody. That's going to be a fun trip. A lot of people are going.
Yeah, I
It's
was
just too far.
I was on
People just
live
want
with
shenanigans.
Josh. I was on live with Josh from South Bay Reptiles last night. He's out in Cali, and we gonna do some stuff out there. But yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Ray, bro 5.0. What up, bro? Hello, Reptile Lifeline. Good morning. All right, so let me see. Who did I miss? Let's just make sure I didn't miss anybody before we start.
What up, Rock?
Wait a minute, we can make up to this one. Yes, we're doing well. Doing well. Good morning, Nameless. Hey, Holly. Well, I know you're not home, but have y'all made it to Missouri yet? So shout out to Holly and Angie and Jeff, who drove literally cross country for this cookout. And then further north, they took a trip up to New York before they headed home. But that's a lot of driving for those many days. So shout out, had a ball with them. Angie is just, Angie. So that was just amazing to be able to chill with them in person. Again, because I actually, Angie and Jeff did come to one of the Tinley turn-ups. So, but that was my first time meeting Holly in person. Good morning, Cara Shay. Good morning. KTZ in the house. KTZ in the house.
Don't start. Both of y'all need time out already.
Dre been asleep all week. Like, I haven't got one message. Probably, what was that, Monday? I hate to check.
Are you okay?
Like, good over there. No
like,
insults, no nothing.
Because I don't be having the energy for you Monday through. I don't be having the energy for you Monday through Friday on a regular basis.
I don't know if you heard it, Phil, but I just gave y'all just pretty good kudos on the band, and their backup singer. Hello, the champagne Casanova in the sky. That song was ringing in my head all the way. It was a great time. All right, Dre. So you want to go ahead and, well, first of all, before we go there, let's do the quick prayer for Bryant. We never can forget that. Everybody, come with us. Come with us. Father God, we thank you for another Monday. We thank you for a blessing of family and community. We thank you for life, Lord. We thank you for keeping us covered, God, so that there is no additional reports in this chat of anyone failing health. In that process, God, we want to remember our brother who is challenging life right now, going through one of the worst situations of cancer that is out there. But we know that you can even beat out the worst with faith, prayer, and commitment to life. So we encourage Brian to stay strong, stay focused, keep it pushing, keep it smiling, do the best you can daily to give life your very best. Please understand that as we look from the outside looking in, there are days that it may not look like prayer is working. For the mere fact that you are here, brother, I can contest that prayer is working. I have seen this disease take family members quickly within weeks. So the fact that you're here, you're pushing, you're getting your clothes on, it is definitely working. We keep your family in prayer. We keep your wife held up high, and we know she's a very private person, Lord, but we know that it can't be easy for her. So we put our arms around her, God, through just community, God, and just keep her lifted and all your employees through this challenging time. We ask that you do this and everything. In your name we pray. Amen. All right. So Dre, you want, okay, Keith Slight leaves at 1. Hope all good weekend. I enjoy Mama Soul's wings and go-go times. They actually were bourbon wings. And the bacon was a hit again. So I can't tell y'all how many pieces of bacon I ate. We ain't even gonna talk about it, but that's really all I ate. I had bacon and probably 1 hamburger, but I suffered for it that night because that was breaking my vegetarian vegan fast, and I suffered all night and all day and didn't wake up until like about 1 as far as getting out the bed because I felt like at night, but it was worth it. Once I got better, that bacon was just
I thought you didn't eat the swine.
Oh no, I eat bacon. I've always ate bacon. Wait a minute, no, for the last 30 days I wasn't eating any meat. But yeah, I'll eat bacon, cook right. Turkey bacon. I just don't like bacon on a daily. Like I don't like pork. Like pig knuckles.
It's hard to skip out on the bacon. Pig knuckle. No.
If you cook my bacon good, and that bacon is like, it's like a buffalo bacon. It doesn't even taste like, I can't even explain it. The bacon was the bomb. Oh, good. So you on your way, you're heading. Safe travels. That's a horrible ride. Thank you, Bosa. I think I might head to Gettysburg on the 15th. There's a show 20 minutes from my house, but it sounds like everyone. Yeah, well, I can tell you, everybody up that way will be at Gettysburg, most likely. So is Oaks the same day? Is that the one you're talking about? I think Oaks might be. I know, like sometimes Carlisle's the same day as if we go to Northern Virginia. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. You should come. Hey, Rod. Phil said we all going to be at Gettysburg. I'm looking forward to it. All right, Dre, you want to get started? So the topic today, like we said, is target training.
Yeah, I didn't even
I'll
tell
let
you how
you
this
start
topic
and then
came
I'll
about.
give my input after you give, like, how this topic came about. So normally, guys, and I think we said this before, the topics really come from things that happens during our week or conversations that happens in our private dealings with people and things like that. So we never went in. Me and Dre talked about this personally before, but we never went into detail on this channel or what we thought about it. But Dre's going to go ahead and take this one.
Yeah, you'll like this, Nicole. This topic came about because one of my followers actually called me arrogant. Because I was on arrogant.
Oh, okay.
So I was on TikTok live and somebody asked me, like, can you train a snake? And my short answer was no. My short answer was no. And the reason I said no is given the audience that I'm speaking to, I didn't really want to take the time to explain to them exactly what hook training or tap training it actually is. So, but this particular person, the question was, can you train a snake to do this or do that? And I said, no, it's not a dog. So I get off live and I have a message from this person in there. She basically has been, keeping snakes for like 2 whole years. And, so she's an expert now. And she watched some YouTube videos and basically said that I was wrong and I was being very arrogant in my life for not listening and educating and opening and basically telling people what target training is. So that's where this topic came from. I wanted to just kind of jump in here and explain basically my perspective on target training. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's necessary. The rat is the target. So me personally, taking a ball to get my snake to strike and then giving them a rat is just adding an extra step. I do, again, this is my personal view. I do feel like it's something that, not all, but I've seen some reptile keepers demonstrate it. And I feel like a lot of reptile keepers demonstrate this to try to feel like they're more superior, with their snakes. And don't get me wrong, if you are doing the right things with your snakes anyway, their intelligence is naturally going to show. You don't have to do all of these extra things to try to make it seem like, oh my gosh, I have the world's smartest snake. These snakes are naturally going to show you that. And my issue is that everybody thinks just because you have a pet, everything is trainable, and it's not a dog. It's not always the case. Now there are certain things that are gonna, benefit this animal. And me personally, I don't think, I mean, target training, cool, it's gonna, stimulate them, but again, when you are feeding a rat, it's doing, even if you, as much as I don't necessarily support it, even if you're feeding live, that is stimulation right there. They're hunting. They're going after the rat. They kill it and do whatever. But target training, now, if we're talking, Jesus, excuse me. Now, if we're talking a tegu or a monitor, that's different because they actually will actively chase the ball. They will actually, inquire about it. And you don't have to necessarily feed them in order to get them to do certain things. Now, they will present what's dog-like behavior where like I said, they'll chase it. Certain monitors will do the tripoding, Argus monitors, which is very creepy to me. That creeps me out. But again, me personally, I do not think target training is a requirement, and it's not something that I feel like that I need to teach or show or demonstrate to everyone because I don't do target training. Honestly, half of my snakes would just bite the damn ball. They bite my tongs, and I can't get them back half the time. So I'm not about to shove this ball in their face when I can just give them the rat. That's really it. That's my take on it. Go ahead, Nicole.
So, I've never, ever thought it was necessary. It's not just a additional step. For me, to retic, you irritating the fuck out of it, or burn. So I always say every reticulated python, including these babies I have in here, I have them where you don't eat until I tell you to eat. And I purposely do that because what I don't want is a snake ever so hungry coming out the enclosure before I can even prep the food to hand them to them, and they capturing me instead of the food. This is something that I teach them very young. This is your food. This is your food. This is your food. And you know what? If I showed feedings, I would love to demonstrate this because I think people sometimes think, even with retics, that they can't control their food response. I can literally hold rabbits with my retics, and I can't do this with my berms, and I can't do this with my boas. So again, this misconception that a retic is more defensive or food driven than any other animal, I can do it with every retic I have. I cannot dare do it with a boa, none of my boas. And I cannot do it with none of my berms. If I have a rabbit right here and I open this door and this berm is right here, you're going to see this berm come all the way over here to get the rabbit. I promise you that. So I can't explain why my retics are different, but I can literally hold the rabbit, hold it, and that retic will even pull back. And then when I drop it, it'll hit it. So to Dre's point, I'm not going to say that my retics are trained that way. For some reason, something in their brain allowed me to do this repetitiously, and they get it. For whatever reason, that same thing doesn't work for these birds and the boas. I tried the same method with every animal in here, I promise you, just to see how they will react. You know what I mean? I could never, but I'm still not target training. What I'll do is with the berm is, let me show y'all, because this is important. So it's a third one. So I got about 4 different sides of these in the house, right? So typically these I can, if I need to grab something, pick it up, I can give it to any of the boas, hold it, put it in there, out the way. With the berm, because she can leap and he can leap a good more than 50 inches, and this is 52 inches. I literally pick the food up. I stand over here. Her enclosure is over here. So I can, if you can hear me, I'm touching her enclosure now. So I'm standing about this distance. And then I'm opening the door. And sometimes if she's very hungry, I'll have Michael stand on the other side, pull the door back for me because she's coming out. He's coming out. And then I'll put it right at the crack once we start to slide over, just enough for her to hit it. Yeah. And then I back this thing on up after she got it, and then we close the door. So when it comes to feeding and target training and all that, what I would say is target training for me, if I did that with this berm or attempted, will irritate her even more. It's going to get her more riled up. So instead of her coming out to 50 inches, she's going to come all the way out 60, 70, 80. You know what I mean? So I would never do that with any of my animals. And with Dre, what you said is the perfect thing. The rabbit is the target. They see that thing, they smell that thing, especially the boas. The boas show signs that they can smell the food when I'm feeding the hatchlings in the other room. The boas get riled up. The retics will still be chilling until they see the food. But the berms and the boas, I would never try that with. So another thing, Dre, what annoys me, especially on like TikToks, where you got some of the lesser educated reptile keepers. Ray said he got to train snakes to make these damn shirts. Ray is always making shirts. They're nice though. But yeah, so I will say that it's annoying on the flip side how you say that people don't realize that you can't train quote unquote a snake, but it's as annoying assuming that the bigger snakes are less forgiving, which in my experience, other than the ball pythons, I'm way more comfortable with feeding my retics any kind of way than I am the boa or the berms. I'm out the way of the boas. I will definitely drop that food and close the door. No need for me to stand here. None of that. Like, I'm going to get out the way, watch what's going to happen through the glass because the boa is hitting. Even if he's in his hide, he's not creeping out. He smells the food. He's coming out. He's hitting. So,
yeah.
Why do that with a ball? And another thing is the risk of your animal hurting their teeth. Every time you feed your animal, especially the larger ones, their teeth are fragile. There is a risk of them hurting their teeth. So if you're using the ball as a target, and I'm assuming you're using some type of hemostat or something like that, if that snake missed that ball and hit anything else, you risk it breaking its teeth. And that's just a horrible thing for animals to go through, anything that's affecting their mouth.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, again, the tongs, as soon as they see them tongs and I click them, click, they know what time it is. I'm not saying I knock anybody for target training, but when you start bashing people for not target training, I kind of got a problem with that because it's not a requirement. It's not something that you have to do. And for you to say someone is uneducated when they've been keeping reptiles longer than you have, just because you're older than me, doesn't make you. No, that's not how that works. Your age has nothing to do with your experience in the reptile world. If you've been keeping less, then you've been keeping less, and that's what it is. But because what kills me is this particular person has watched a couple videos of a YouTuber who does a lot of, target training, but has not practiced any of this herself. So how are you sitting here bashing me because I don't believe in something that you yourself isn't doing?
Agreed. And then we kind of talked about this on Reptiles and Cocktails Saturday, which Reptiles and Cocktails Saturday was the very first pre-recorded show. And I want to shout out to everybody who was in the chat because it was like it was live. I'm literally driving I wasn't driving, he was driving, but we are in the car going to Jeremy's house. We are at Jeremy's house and I'm like in the chat and no one realized that the show was not live.
So you actually kept up with the comments?
Yes.
Oh, snap.
Yes. Because I was surprised that so many people were in the comments. Actually, it was like, I kind of liked it better being able to kind of comment. You know what I'm saying? Like be in the chat so I could see everybody's comments. So it's different than have to go and look. I can be in everybody's comments. So again, I started that too because it gives me more time to get different people on the podcast that I can pre-record and then still release it at the regular time slot at 1 p.m. on Saturday. So thank you for everybody who supported that first release of the pre-recording. It was really fun. I enjoyed it that way, honestly. And so as I mentioned, that will always be going forward. I can't say always, there might be some exceptions, but going forward, it's probably going to be most likely pre-recorded on that channel. And then but I'm still in the chat, as you can see, and this will always be live. So just shout out to everybody who did that. No, don't hook me up. I want to pay full price for your snakes. That's right, Esteban. That's right. Did you see my message? My flight got put. Oh, this is Keisha and Keys. I was like, wait a minute. See, airlines be playing, Keys. I can't. That's the whole last week was a mess. I had so many friends who were like trapped places for days. One friend in Mexico, like I said, like, what do people not assume that everybody can afford to pay the extra hotel? Because what people don't realize, you want to get travel insurance when you travel. Thank you. Because if you don't, the airlines is not responsible for putting you up, even when it's quote unquote the airline's fault. So if you miss your flight because you were caught up in what you call it, Homeland Security, what you call it? Yeah, Homeland Security. TSA, yeah. If you miss your flight because you caught up in TSA, which is still Homeland Security. Yeah, it is. If you apply for TSA, that's a Homeland Security job. So, but if you're stuck, TSA does not work for the airport. So it's not the airport's responsibility to make sure you make your flight on time. And we experienced that when we were coming back from Antigua, and we fly a lot. We had been to Antigua before, never had that. We were in Miami, and we had to stay in Miami because we were held up at TSA because they didn't have enough people at the TSA to check everybody in coming in from the international flights. So we missed our flight for about 5 minutes. Now, they did give us a voucher for the hotel, which they didn't have to. They did. And they gave us a $12 voucher to eat. I don't know about y'all, especially if your luggage is already on a plane. I'm going to need more than that. And travel insurance covers that. And travel insurance also cover if you don't want to go to the hotel that they send you to. So just little FYI, always get it. It's a couple $100, but it's worth it if something like that happens. So you're not sleeping in the airport for 3 days, which is insane. I just don't always comment. Oh, shit. Oh, Kara Shay. I appreciate that, dude. I got deals, so I priced them accordingly to what I paid. If we got to hang out and visit this taco spot, I've been IG stalking to avoid traffic back home. I won't complain. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad when he gets home, Keisha. I know that's hard. I used to hate, like, the only times we would ever have to be without each other is when we worked and I had to travel, he had to travel. And Dre, you know this. That's why I drove home. So, like, with COVID, I don't like being away from my husband more than the day. And even then, like I said, we're in a house a lot. We're not together a lot because he's normally downstairs and I'm upstairs, and then he comes upstairs at some point in the evening or whatever. We don't, but we always together, kind of. And it's hard to sleep for me because now I got to worry about if everything's safe. I got to pay attention to cars on the news and stuff like that. I don't know about y'all, but this wife worries when her husband's not here. And I'm not worrying about what most wives worry about. I ain't even worried about that. I'm worried about safety, like things happening to him. It just drives me crazy. So I always say, like, that's why we fly together. If the plane go down, we go down together. I hate being apart. I do. Find you somebody you hate being away from. Much love, everyone. Gotta go feed the fur babies. All right, Esteban, tell my nephew I said hello, little Canelo. You those Frenchies, dude. All right, so I also wanted to touch on the subject. It was actually a post on Facebook. And as we talk a lot about, improving the community and the communication and things like that, you guys know that I am not a big fan of a lot of stuff that happens in some of these reptile communities. And I try to stay in places where it's positive. And I'm going to so I watch people draining your energy. So let me just say this. If it's draining you, whatever your message you're trying to get across, if it's draining you and it really has nothing to do with you, stop the cat. Like, stop trying to imitate other people. It's becoming annoying. And what it becomes is it creates more noise, you know. But I want to just like say that it has been a great week in the retic community. Definitely there's still some focus. There's still some junk out there, but guys, you can do this reptile thing without indulging in all of the BS. I, at this point, don't even watch stuff that's all about drama and hype. I have found that some of the people that I didn't watch, I watch now because I get what they're trying to do with the community. So you can't say in two breaths, I want to make it better and then keep the chaos going. You're a fraud. I don't care who you are. You're a fraud. So I want to shout out to everybody who made it a very specific focus, especially the Retic Nation, because that is one of the places that I did not like. I didn't play in it a lot because it's never been like a great place, especially for newer people who were coming into the Retic community a few years ago. There's other places. I love the Retic Pursuit and I love the Retic Connection. But what I love about Retic Nation, and I would say, is that that's where your seasoned people are. And I see that those seasoned people is now using it more for educating the masses and putting out those positive statements. So just a shout out to the Retic community for taking the bad and making it better. That's this what I'm going to put out there now, because at the end of the day, I'm good with my retics over here. I can never not get in a forum ever. But I do love creating relationships and bonds outside of my ball python community as well. So, and I get to do that when people are not acting like fools. That's right, Keisha. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. This week, I will let you guys know who my pre-recorded guest is. I want to bring on a Retic woman. So I hope that y'all support her Saturday like y'all supported Jen, which was a really good episode. Super dope girl. All the way here from Germany. Established herself a mother, ball python breeder, also a mechanic. Like, just so much going on. So much behind the layers of reptile keeping and how some people juggle it. Shout out to the people who, I was laughing at my husband the other day, who still work full-time jobs and do this daily. Because I can tell you, with having the Retic hatchlings now, and I'm not like any other, I'm not gonna say any other breeder, because there are a lot of breeders, including the one I purchased from, who like to put their hands on their hatchlings, but I like to handle these babies all day, every day. So they're not just sitting in the tubs. I'm getting them out. I'm handling out. I'm letting them do all the things that you might want to do with them. And I have the time to do it because I don't have to work a full-time job. And so it's just such a blessing to be able to put that commitment into making sure that people are getting great animals. So how's your girl doing?
Good. I've been leaving her alone because she's in shed.
Okay, so she just her siblings just literally her full crew, as I talk about, they literally just shed it last night.
Yeah,
all four at the same time.
I pulled her out. Was it 2 days ago? Because I saw she was in shed, but she pooped, so I pulled her out just so I can straighten up her tub, get fresh water and everything. And I held her; she was fine. And I just make sure her humidity was good. Put her back. So I just been letting her just kind of hang out and chill. Doing pretty good so far. So no problems eating, no problems doing nothing. So. Wait for that shed to come off.
Oh, good. Yeah. So they've been doing amazing. All of the new babies, the new ball pythons are doing amazing. I think I finally decide which ones I want to hold back. I have some beautiful inchy lessers. I don't care what nobody say. They had desert ghosts, so I think they have some of that influence in them. And I decided I'm gonna actually hold one of them back for a very specific reason. So super excited about that. Touching little faces, best way. Exactly. I love it, Phil. And Phil, after this last cut shed, I'm gonna send you the pictures of the ones that have the odium, the ones that have the odium in them. But yeah, so you got anything else today? What you got? What you got, Dre? What you got?
No.
When are we doing TikTok again?
I was gonna actually you were supposed to hit me up last week. Let me know.
Yes, Monday. What happened last
busy.
week? Oh, I ended up going to the water last Monday, which I think.
I figured you got busy. This was the first week I got back on TikTok anyway. This week is gonna be busy because getting ready for Cali.
When do you leave?
Friday.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I would love to join y'all, but I can't. I would be so angry. And they said, like, and that's why I'm not shipping, because the airlines has been horrible. I don't know if you ain't like, one thing about me, I have enough anxiety to fly. Let me tell you the things that can't happen. My plane, and when they delayed, Slim will tell you, why is it delayed? I want to see almost a damn report. Like, why is the plane delayed? Like, is it a mechanical problem? What was the mechanical problem? Who fixed it? I need to know all that. You put me in a whole nother level of anxiety. Then I can't be getting on a plane with a whole bunch of screaming and yelling people. Like, all of that chaos. Because now I think my pilot is pissed off. I don't know what kind of day he had off at work. Now he got to take us up in the air. You could have made him real mad when he said, fuck all of y'all and take it down. See, I can't. So when I fly, and I was saying to, I only fly first class. And like I told Slim, if you can't get on a plane, first class ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. If people are fighting on a plane, first class isn't nothing, because they're going to shut the entire plane down. I don't have the patience for that, because I've been drag somebody in the airport. I will be locked up, or I will be so stressed out. I don't want to fly right now, babe. Let's just leave. Like, I don't like to fly. Even though I'm always flying, I don't like it. And then I have to be drunk. So I can't be sober dealing with these kind of emotions. I have to be drunk. So now I'm drunk, which means that I'm going to be quicker to drag somebody. So
I just hope they don't cancel my flight again like they did last year.
So last year, and that was weird. That was weird.
That was Southwest, though. I'm flying Delta this time.
Everybody's acting up.
For sure. But I know Southwest has had the most problems, so we're going to see. Because how you Southwest and you can't get me out to the Southwest? I got a problem with that.
Well, nobody got anywhere last week for days. So that's why I didn't ship out any animals this week. I'm not taking the risk of them delaying anything. Statistics say you're extremely safe flying. Yep, that's what statistics say that. And Phil, I have flown the world. I have flown the world.
Nicole, why did statistics give you a hard time like that?
I think it's the tongue thing. Statistics. I have flown the world. It's not the end of it is that if it does go down, that's what people don't realize. The statistics of the plane not blowing up if it crashes or breaking apart.
Oh my God.
It's not good. It's not good as the statistics of a plane not crashing. And I always think of the people who have been on a plane crashing. I think that's the first thing coming to their daggone head.
I mean, I wish we wasn't talking about this a couple days before I get on the plane. I mean,
you'll be safe. Right. I'll pray for you.
Whatever.
God don't want you in heaven yet. He said you still got some work to do.
Apparently, he don't like me, so whatever.
Oh my God. Yes, you're going to have a safe flight. So I can tell you that once you learn, like, understand, I'm fine once I'm in the air, because the worst thing can happen is the plane just, I won't never know. It's the taking off and the landing.
Oh, you are the worst, bro.
I'm serious. I'm fine. So I have to be totally, like, I cannot tell you on the level of intoxications. So we tried one time coming back from Vegas with me not drinking at all. And Slim said he will never do that shit again. You will be drunk every time you get on a plane. I drove everybody on that plane crazy. And then when you sit in different sections of a plane, like, so if you sit in the very first seats of a plane, you hear things differently from the middle, right? So if I try to book where we're sitting in the same seats, because now I'm used to all the noises and I know what they all mean. Okay, that's the landing gear coming up. Okay, that's them closing the wings. That's, I can hear all the different things. But then if you go and you move into a different part of the plane, you might be sitting right on the engines, and then that's a whole different feeling and sound on the plane. So you got to now master, y'all, it'd be a whole thing. So I have to be at ease. So what I told Slim is Daytona is only 11-hour drive. So he agreed to drive to Daytona, but we can't drive to California and stay for 2 days and come back. It's not going to happen. Oh, see, look, you said tongue-tied. You're so stupid.
I was responding to Keisha's comment.
He's not going to ignore it, Keisha. He's not going to ignore it. He's not as kind. Yes. He said only. Well, compared to what I thought, because when I drove back from Florida in August, it was 14 hours, but I was in the Tampa area. I was in St. Pete, exactly. But Daytona is apparently much closer. So that was good to know. KT, only fly first class. You will never see me on a plane not in first class.
Yeah, Daytona.
Let me just tell you, it's a whole level. Again, it goes to the alcohol. So first class is the only place that I'm going to constantly get drinks at my disposal. So it's convenient to be able to eat when I want and drink when I want. And it's much. But people think first class costs more money. If you book your flight 90 days out and compare to a ticket for a regular coach seat that you would pay for that you booked 2 weeks out, you're paying the same thing. So my travel agent hipped us on it a long time ago. Book your first class. If you can, longer than 3 months out, it'll be cheaper. You can do 6 months out. It's cheaper. So it's not like we're paying all of this extra money. We're just strategic with booking. So anyone going somewhere and you know where you're going, book your first class. Enjoy it. It's nothing like it. I can't, after flying first class one time, it was never no going back for me because the alcohol just kept coming. Hey, Chris. Shout out to Chris. We together on the 15th. Like my 14-year-old doesn't let me get away with anything. She'll be like, what was that? Yes, that would be Dre.
That's got to.
I can't. We already have one, KT. So silly.
KT said, "I'll clean cages for a home."
KT, trust me, it's not balling, y'all. Like we've traveled so much that we're strategic. Try what I say. The next time you're going somewhere, book your flight 3 months out, and then go look at that same flight 2 weeks or 3 weeks closer to when you leave it, and you're going to see that you would have paid the same thing. Just saying. We mastered it. You just have to plan ahead, Keisha. They don't tell, like, that's the thing is that, and there's so many, like, if you ever watch YouTube, there's a lot of YouTubers who would tell you how to cheat the airline systems, like, for pricing and stuff like that. But the easiest thing that I've learned is with first class is just to book it 3 months out or more.
I'll be trying to book a year in advance.
Yeah, and if you know, like some people know, like every June is when you're taking your vacation. Oh, if you're killing it, if you can book it a year in advance, because they don't even know, like what plane is going to be. It's so much. It's to their advantage to book first class.
I don't fly often enough. I'm more of a driver, so. But I'm not driving to Florida. That's 13 hours.
Yeah. So my thing is that I would drive everywhere if I could, but most places I like to go is across the ocean. So can't get across the ocean in a car. Slim is the no driving. Like he's like, look, real baby, you serious? Like we supposed to drove to Tinley last year. And I even with that, like
last year or March. That's supposed to drive March, right?
Well, March, yes. I keep saying last year because they all come together. But March we were supposed to drive. And then last minute, like a couple days before, he was like, all right, I can't do it. We're gonna go ahead and book a flight. And that was like, you know, we could have been booked this flight, but and I'm glad we didn't because I was so jealous of Pike and all of the stuff that he was able to pick up. So yeah, but yeah, so it's not, you know, no, KT, we're not balling over here. We're comfortable. That's how you know we're comfortable. But just like everybody else, we make strategic moves. My husband don't let me spend the money now that I'm unemployed. You know, I don't spend as much as we used to. We got to make sure that, you know, we can maintain everything and feed animals and stuff like that, so we don't have to sell gas. Just saying. That's a thing. There's a girl at my job who travels all year long. She's putting in her vacation time. As soon as we get our time bank, she makes it a priority and plans accordingly. If you don't, you're paying 5 times more. Keisha, I did that. I used to do that every year. So in January, I get my entire calendar for the entire year. Me and Slim got together. This is where we're going. This is when we're going. Entire year. I don't care what's happening. I don't care what's going on at work. It was a meme out when the guy was like, can you cancel your vacation because we have 4 people that's not going to be able to come in or something like that? And the person be like, that's on the plane. That's your problem. That's your problem. But as a organization, I used to always get my employees to do that too. It's so much easier for me to look at a calendar in January and see where all of my team members are going to be off. And then schedule like our team outings and stuff like that around it. It's convenient for the company. So
you nice. My team don't get no team outings. Fuck them people.
See, what I've learned up until the day that I stopped working, that I was successful and I was able to live this lifestyle that I live now because I had a bunch of people who worked for me who loved the crap out of me. And they loved me not because I was a boss who made sure they got a paycheck. They loved me because they knew me personally. And those team outings would be like so amazing. Like, so we would get to understand each other better. Like when they knew all of my love languages. So, you know, my employees will always buy me a bunch of gifts. It was amazing that they could coordinate with my husband and get me like everything I ever want. Like they were just on point with so much. So I'll say this, Dre, as a boss, the biggest thing that most people look for today at work is a sense of community. And the way you create that is
that's beautiful, Nicole. That's beautiful. But all the people that are under me are older than me, so they just be trying to talk crazy. I'll be like,
that's an assumption.
What you mean?
Find out from them. I'm gonna challenge you. Find out from them what outing would they like as their young boss. You'd be surprised.
We don't do outings because we're all spread out across the country. That's why we all work from home.
Then you do a Zoom meeting. So
I'm not doing. We do Zoom meetings. We do those.
Do you do it with wine? So you can do a Zoom meeting. You can have everybody have a bottle of wine. You can send a meal to each one.
They can't drink on the clock.
Oh, y'all need to get a new job.
No, they can't drink on the clock.
No, if I say we're going out for drinks, that's one thing I loved about my company. They supported
my old team, the team that was here, it was cool. It was a lot better. I could say, hey, I'm going to the bar to have a drink. Not inviting you, but if you so happen to be there, we'd all end up there.
Hey, blue balls, not blue balls. Hey, blue balls.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I don't know. Even now, like the love that they still have for me, like it's just insane. They're so supportive, and They share all of my content. They always, checking up on me and always asking, "You sure you never going to come back?" I get that all the time. One time they took me out. They invited me out to a fancy dinner, and it was all a ploy to try to see if they can convince me.
That's nice. I be logging off my job. Like, I can't wait to quit this motherfucker.
Yes, because you gotta be a part of the culture change, bro. Change the culture.
Nah, I do my job and I get the fuck out. No, thank
you. I can't. Y'all do not find a boss like Dre, no matter how much they pay you. You would not be happy at work.
That's the sad thing. But like I said, they don't like when I have to do my job. Because they will literally
when you create that sense of community, it makes it easier. Like if you hear my employees talk about the day that if you hear ex-employee who's still my very close to me tell you about the day they got fired, like because they know I love them so much, they knew it was them when I was fired. I'm like, that I was going to do this.
I'm telling you, I had to talk to one of my advocates basically about like her performance, and she was new to the team. I never had any issues with her. I thought we was cool, and then I come to talk to her about her performance. Nothing was crazy. Because professional, when I'm professional, I'm DeAndre. When I'm not professional, I'm Dre. It's a difference.
Right.
And man, this lady was like, "You young motherfuckers," and I was just like, "We on a work call, man. Like, you're mad at me because you're supposed to be taking calls and you put yourself in active and you get up and leave your phone. You mad at me because you did that, and now I have to say something to you about it. You wasn't getting fired, which you should have."
But how do you say it? Like,
I was polite. I have to, because so even for my protection, I have to have somebody in the call with me. Okay. So I can't say like the Dre, y'all know, I can't be that at work. So I'm very, very professional. And you young motherfuckers just think y'all can. That's it. You're out. You got to go. So, but all of them come at me like that. I can be as cool. They all come at me like that. That's why now I'm just like, fuck them old ass people.
See, I always took pride in changing culture. So changing how I feel. So I always took feedback. Like I would let them review me. Like, review me. Tell me what I can do better. Tell me, things that you wish I can change. And it was so, even on my way out the door, like so many things that the company changed now. And my employees will call me like, "Oh my God, remember you wanted us to do boo, 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 boo. We doing it.
But see, that's dope because you have people that actually wanted to change. The people that I'm dealing with are so irritated with the company that they're mad at leadership. And just like the changes that are being made don't come from us. We have to get used to just like y'all.
You are the changer of the culture. So you are the one who changes the culture at top. Trust me.
For sure. And now that culture is shut the fuck up and work. Because I'm sick of y'all. We running a full-blown sweatshop over there now because y'all ungrateful. You know how many times I've literally even got approved time to pull them off the phones for 2 hours just to bond with them. And they get in there. We supposed to be having fun, doing whatever. They in there talking bad about the company, talking trash, talking about how they got all these young people in management. They don't know what they're doing. You get your old ass back on the phone. How about that? Get your old ass back on the phone. And you ain't going to do it again.
This is why he's having problems, y'all. You know how many young people work for me and how many old people work for me. And you just got to understand their languages. So I'm going to give you an example. When I started to see like there would be a gap, I would buy books. I would buy books for the older people. Like I would have a manager who was say in her 50s, right? And she's managing a younger team. And then I would have a book for the younger team to better understand their boss. Let them read the books, right? Then one of the things that, like I'll give you, Angela hated the fact that some of the millennials could never get to work on time, right? They think they can come in here at 8:45. So I said to her, "You have an extra employee. What time is the best time for them to come to work?" And she looked at me like I was crazy. She said, "What?" I said, "You're dealing with a new generation now. If I can get better out of a person who's going to show up at 11 o'clock, this is an office. We got a whole bunch of other people who rather be here at 8 because of their kids. They got to pick up from daycare, right? Ask the person what time they want to come to work." She did that. That employee who she otherwise would have fired became a better employee because it even got better. Employee said, "No, I'd rather come in at 11. Can I work from 11 to 7? I'm like, that is to our advantage. We can do stuff that we never did before. Absolutely, I approve. You make better employees by asking them what they want, right? Then, right there, let them say what they want. That's to tell my superiors all the time. Don't tell me as a regional manager what I can't do if the company can do it. So when my boss would say, Nicole, we can't do that, I would say, why? And because we never did that. Why? You know what I mean? Like, don't tell me we're not going to do it. We can do it because there's no safety reason to this, or there's no law that keeps us from doing it. If we have the power as a company, we'll do it. So I became the regional manager. I was the maverick. I will change it in my region because I had the power. I don't care what the company doing. So in my region, if you need flexible time, you can. And when I left and somebody else came in behind me and tried to change those things, they lost the best employees they had.
I'm telling you.
The employees knew they had.
With the people that I deal with, they're so far gone. And I don't say to say that I can't work with them. I mean, I got to every day, but as far as me like trying to reach out and bond with them, they've made it clear, like, no. But the last supervisor before them, they all had the same issue. So it's just like now, unfortunately, I'm the type of person where it's like, if you need something, come to me. Other than that, I let it go. I don't, because you're not about to stress me out. I still have my job to do. I've tried to bond with y'all.
Your job as a supervisor is to be stressed so your people are not stressed out.
Oh, baby girl. Oh, we not stressing over here. No. Because once I clock out, they be hitting I clock out at 7 p.m. You hit my phone at 7:01, it's going to wait till tomorrow.
And that's okay. So another thing that I had to really, what millennials taught me, and I credit that to them. For a long time, I did not have work-life balance. I did not. I was a worker. I was a person who's trying to, like, at that time, build those levels of my career, right? Mm-hmm. Then I would say in 2000, you started to see the shift about 2015, 16 in the employee. And then COVID came, you definitely started to see the value of millennials in the workplace and the flexibility to them, right? So as much as I'm hard on millennials, I do believe that everybody needs them on their team in today's world because they are the people who are the game changers, right? They're the ones who are willing. Like, if I wanted to come up with something and try something new,
we're innovators for sure. We're not afraid to push the envelope.
It was a reward on the other side for them. So that was another reason why I was a big gift giver. Like my employees got brand new Coach and Michael Kors pocketbooks for their Christmas
gifts. Yeah, KT, they got money for sure.
No, it's not about. So this is how I always looked at it. I would not have the money and the bonuses that I have. I would not be retired today if it wasn't for them people, for them 89 people who work for me. They were the people who created my life. So I even to this day, I am so appreciative of them. And so therefore, what I did was, for me, think about it. If I was bonus quarterly, right? And my direct reports, I'm buying them a pocketbook on the average about $6,000 to $1,000, right? The reason why I got those big bonuses was because that made that girl or that guy or whoever it was happy and feel valued. I wouldn't have gotten those big bonuses if it wasn't for them. So that's how I looked at it. I felt like it was their piece of the pie. And another thing I did was I started to create structures where they got discretionary bonuses too. So
they get bonuses and I don't. And they still complain.
But you are the person who can change it. I'm gonna leave this alone because you just want the mean bosses.
No,
you're one of the people that I used to always say, you ain't gonna be able to have the easiest work life because
I don't want it easy, because anything that comes to you easy ain't worth having. So I'm okay with that. But at the same time, you can't complain about issues, and I'm giving you an opportunity to provide solutions, like figure out. But my thing is, if you have issues, I want to help you solve those issues. And if all of you have for me is more complaints, what am I supposed to do with that?
You list their complaints and analyze.
Figure out
you do make it better.
Okay, but I need
with their input.
Okay, but that's the thing. They don't want to give their input. They just want to give you the complaints.
That's because they don't like you, and you have to. I'm telling you.
And that's the point. And that's the point where that's not my fucking problem.
It is. Bye.
No, it's not.
I'm done with you for the day. Because when they like you, when they like you and they trust you, they will tell you all.
But this is the thing. From day one, when I introduced myself, I was nice. We had a meeting. We were talking. I was getting to know everybody.
In the back of the head that you felt like fuck y'all for real. They can sense it.
That's their fault, not mine. That's their fault. No, because that's
if y'all go into healthcare, see if DeAndre Williams is your direct support before you accept the job.
Because at the end of the day, listen, everybody on my team is like 55 years and older.
They come to work on time.
No, they don't. 2 of them just got turned last week.
Then you fired them. They don't come to work on time at 55.
I didn't fire them. HR fired them. HR sees that, and they was like, "Yo, what are y'all doing about this? Y'all need to let them go." So that I had no say in that. I couldn't even meet with them before HR was like, "You all ever walk around with the snake in public?"
What do you mean? So 2 things. Depending on that question, yes and no. I don't walk in grocery stores. I don't take them in Walmart. I don't take them to the doctor's office. Like some of the stuff people do is just extra.
I don't even take mine to the pet store
either, right?
I don't take mine to the pet store either. Yeah, if it's somewhere outside, yes. Pet stores, no, because I don't think a lot of because I've seen reptile keepers carry their pets in the reptile stores. And I don't. Exactly. I don't think people understand that's probably the one place where your animal is really vulnerable.
Or a reptile show. I would never take my animals to carry them around in a reptile show. People who do that, and I love like the people who do it from educational, but they put a big risk for their animals. Whatever, touching them, putting them on their clothes. Like people can clean off their hands. What's on your clothes?
Yep. When I do events and people ask me to bring out reptiles, is there anybody else there that's bringing reptiles? Yes, then no, I can't do it.
Yes, KT, Michael Kors and Coach and Toy Birch. That was their 3. And they never got the same one. They never got like every year. I would go and so into details to notice like if someone made color changes in their dressings for that year, whatever. And I will find pocketbooks. I had one girl who was on Peru. She was so impressed that I found a Peruvian colored Coach bag for her. I would go like that far, but when I tell you I love them, that was the hardest part of leaving my job. It wasn't the job, it wasn't the money, it wasn't any of that. It was those people who worked their butts off to allow me to live the life that I live.
They better hope they get a pizza party for me this year.
It's a start, damn it. A pizza party is a start. But
they gonna complain about that too.
People to fancy restaurants, but a pizza party is a start. The company reimburses you. Well, they not for the pocketbooks, not for gifts, but for anything I took my team out to dinner.
I'm not worried about the reimbursement or nothing like that. But I'm telling you, I've been with this team for 3 years. I'm tired of making efforts for unappreciated old ass people.
So I never think that it was easy. I don't think it's necessary. Like I think some people need attention, and and you know how I feel about this, Dre. Like some people have reptiles because they want people. They don't get attention any other way, so they want people to look at things.
Here's the thing. Not every person who has reptiles is considered to be a part of the reptile community because there's people that have reptiles, but nobody knows who they are, and when you have reptiles, you can definitely tell who's actually doing it and who's just doing it for attention. Because there's certain people I just be like,
yeah, like how like some people take their reptiles where it's places where it's a lot of noise. People don't believe reptiles can feel that. They can sense that.
The one thing that I hate is when I see these people that's like in New Orleans on like Bourbon Street. And they got a snake out. It's super dark. They smoking, they drinking, and they just putting the snake on people. Irks the hell out of me. Because why? Put the snake on a random person screaming their heart out, and this poor snake is looking around like, what the fuck is going on? But y'all just, I can't.
Well, I mean, the other thing is like when people taking them into like Walmart and grocery stores, they're out snakes. I get it, but people don't realize that snakes are. I just think it's unhealthy. You're going there touching fruit and stuff like that, and at the end of the day, even if I take a snake out of a clean enclosure, clearly under those scales could be urine or something like that. It can be.
Even then, there's a lot of grocery stores that are cold for produce. They got to stay cold.
That's
your body temperature isn't going to be warm enough to keep, because you go by that cold, you're going to get cold too. And me personally, I don't even like it when people bring dogs in the restaurants. I don't care if it's a service dog or not. I don't like it. I'm not taking my snake into a grocery store.
I walk around with my 9-foot boa, and if people want to take a picture with it, I charge them $3. Yeah. So, and see that for me, like, I mean, it's definitely a way to make money. But if I'm taking my animal out for people to see, I'm not going to charge them because I'm doing it for a benefit, But if you're doing like an educational show or something like that, I get it. Or like even some people at shows will let people hold an alligator for like $5. My whole thing is, I don't want to see your dog, your cat. It's so many animals that I just don't think needs to be, like in restaurants, like in Virginia, here in Alexandria, a lot of the outdoor restaurants, people can bring their dogs. I don't want to eat with your dog. I just don't.
Same. I don't care if it's a service animal or not. No.
I don't want to eat with your dog. I don't. And especially, I'm eating, and you got dogs who got, who shake sometimes in their hair, and like you can't control the natural processes of an animal. I just think that it's a bit much. I do think that you should take your animals though to parks and stuff like that if you want to. Like when we go to a park, we make sure dogs are not around. You gotta make sure you don't take them too close to the water where seagulls can be. Mm-hmm. I'm not as concerned about the bigger animals, but your smaller animals can very easily be scooped up by a bird. And people don't pay attention to that when they're outside a lot. Like it's hard. It's nature.
Also, me personally, if I know I'm gonna have my snakes in the grass, I check the grass for any type of animal poop. I'm not putting my dogs in that grass if there's some type of animal poop. No, can't do it.
Yeah, and that's another thing with us having dogs. Before we take the snakes outside, well, it would only be the big dog. We have to make sure that there's no poop or anything like that around. And like people like it's a snake. Like I don't think certain animal stuff should.
It don't matter.
You know what I'm saying? Like I just, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't like my dog and dog stuff to mess. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely don't want my snakes to mess it. But
I used to hate when my dog stepped in his own poop. So I know I don't want my snake running their body through it. No.
But the younger me used to take my snake everywhere. That's a lie. That is you're talking to someone who owns many snakes, okay? And I have 15 footers. I have a Rottweiler and a Yorkie Poo. My Yorkie Poo would try my retics. The only thing that saves him is the fact that I don't let my Yorkie Poo out with the retics. I can tell you when the Yorkie Poo walk past that there are certain retics who will get that ass immediately. And my Yorkie Poo don't care. He has no fear that they're big snakes. He purposely comes in this room to irritate the crap out of them when he gets changed. So, and it's happened. It's happened. So yeah, I would definitely
I think regardless, that's completely why I don't like when I see people who have their dogs interacting with their reptiles. Makes me nervous.
I'm gonna tell you, in this house, I'm sure the Rottweiler, as sweet as it is, will rip. First of all, he's going to assume that these snakes are predators. You know what I mean? Like he's going to sense that. Like I'm protecting my mommy. He will rip one of these things apart or it's a good fight. Period. Like
he's trying to educate you, Nicole. He's trying to educate you.
You can't educate me on that, bro. Like this is, and I'm the sweetest person, but we can't even have this conversation if you really believe that.
They eat crocodiles in Asia that are bigger and meaner.
We can't even have this conversation. I can tell you right now, if I took a 12-pound rabbit and gave it to one of my subadults, it won't touch it. It's too big. It's smart enough to know that. It won't touch it.
You also got to remember that we're talking about captive snakes.
I don't even care if it's like, okay, yes, that too. But I'm just telling you that
I'm saying for him,
10 to 12 pound rabbit to a hungry subadult, and a subadult will look at it like, bitch, I can't eat that.
I'm saying for him based on that comment, because a big retic can eat any dog. They eat physically, yeah, they probably could eat them, but that doesn't mean that it's gonna happen in captivity.
Well,
No.
even then, I'm looking at my biggest Chala against Rocco, who's 115. So if you ever see a Rottweiler eat right through a tree bark, it can snap that tree bark in one bit. You're talking about a retic who, if the scale get bit by a rat, it can die from infection. So the only way a retic is taking down this Rottweiler, who's 150 pounds, is that it's going to have to creep up on that Rottweiler. It ain't going to win head to head. No day. That Rottweiler know exactly what to do. No day.
And snakes only got so much. Snakes only got so much energy, especially at that size. To be able to move
it's
that
like a
body.
Rottweiler don't need it. A pit bull don't need the energy. They know where to hit. They know where to hit a human. Like they know where to hit.
Somebody had been on Google and the NationalGeographic.com a little bit too long.
I do not care about my snakes because she grew up with them. But when we at parks, smaller dogs try me and snakes every time. It is the smaller ones. My Yorkie pool is a mess.
Listen, I tell people all the time, I love dogs. But if you see me at a park and you let your dog come over, you get one warning. Move your dog or I'm going to shoot it. Move your dog or I'm going to shoot it.
But so that's also like KT's question. Going back to what I said, I'm not going to take my snakes to the part of the park where everybody has. That's not fair to them. Where everybody has their dogs. I'm not going to take them where your kids are on the playground. Like I take my snakes to a playground, but there's no children on it. I'm not going to take them by the water where I know there's a bunch of seagulls and stuff like that. You're putting your animal in situations that a captive bred animal don't even know how to handle most of the time. Yes, some of it is instinctual, but when they're going up against wild animals who not only have instinct, but they have daily practice at this, you're setting your animal up for sure. And I don't believe in anybody. And I know people who can have their snakes and their dogs right next to each other. I can guarantee you that if I let any of these retics out and let Rocco out with them, there is going to be a 187 on a retic for sure. I would never set my animals up like that ever.
Yeah, KT, to your question, 9 times out of 10, if I'm taking my snakes out anywhere, I usually just go in the front yard. But if I'm going somewhere public, I go somewhere that's not heavily populated for the simple fact that I'm not trying to attract people to me, but I really want my snakes to be able to get out, stretch out. But 9 times out of 10, it's going to draw a crowd because they see this. They'll see you with this large snake and they'll come up to you. Oh my gosh, is that real? Yeah, it's battery operated. I'm just controlling it from my pocket. It's going to draw a crowd, but I try to go for places that it's not heavily populated. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
If the park is packed, I will hold my snakes the whole time at the park. I'll find a tree with some shade and I won't put them down unless there is less people. Yeah. Fortunately, this park that we have here is so big that, it's never crowded. Like it's one of the national parks. And the way it has it set up is just, we can pick a spot. But like Elias said, like the moment ounce of danger or possible danger can come in. That's just not the other animals. That could be weather related too. You know what I'm saying? Like if it gets too hot real fast, anything like that, you got to be conscious of all of that. I'm not doing it. It's not worth the risk. We don't have cheap snakes over here. Like we don't have a snake that I can just say, okay, it's gone. Eat the dog. No, I can't. And my dog's life is valued too. Because the other part is like when you see the cobra and a retic fighting, both of them died. But they fought to the end. So that's another thing. Like I don't ever want to put my dogs in a situation where they think they're being what they supposed to be protectors, and you're protecting me against something I don't need to be protected against. And both of my animals I love died. It's not worth the risk.
Right. And so
probably it's probable. Oh God. All right. So it's 9:21. We hope that you all have an amazing day. Enjoy your holiday, whether you're working or not. Be safe. I don't know if you guys seen on the news Saturday or was it Sunday? Saturday, there were 30 people killed in Baltimore at one cookout.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, and most of them being teenagers.
Wow.
And two of the people who have died already, one girl was 20 and the other guy was 18.
Wow.
You know, so people taking advantage of just using senseless violence and just it's a very sad situation. So you had a family cookout and that happens, and again, it's all of the hate and no love in the world that makes people say, okay, let me go shoot up a cookout and hit 30 people. So like I said, but we knew it was a Draco. The teenager, one of them for sure had a Draco. Someone that you can identify a Draco easily.
If you hitting 30 people, that's the
if you hitting 30 people,
that's gonna do it the quickest.
People, we don't even. You definitely got something, right? But it's just sad that it happened. It's still like really, they still like it's a big investigation and everything like that. It's one of the most craziest things that ever happened in Baltimore, to be honest, and a lot happens in Baltimore. So just be careful in the holidays. I think a lot of people take an opportunity to confuse you, whether it's gunshots in certain areas or is it fireworks. Yeah.
Look, I was live last night. I had to pull mine out. Like I was at the shop went live because the area that I was in, they don't typically do fireworks. In that area, it's typically gunshots. So I was okay, but it was fireworks. But still.
Yeah. So yeah, prayers to that family, prayers to everyone who's involved, in the mayor of Baltimore City who looks so sad about it. You know, people always blame the mayor for everything, and the mayor ain't got nothing to do with your bad ass showing that you didn't raise right. Unfortunately. They actually got a young mayor who really cares. You know, he's out there, he's in the streets, and he's always blamed for what can you do, what you going to do. At the end of the day, y'all, when it comes to this gun violence and stuff like that, that's inherited. Like, even as a adult who loves guns for sport, you got to be an evil person to just pick it up and shoot a innocent person.
For no reason.
For no reason
at all. You're not defending yourself. You just, I'm just going to go kill somebody.
Because really, real gun people don't ever want to have to pull that trigger in that way. We want to shoot targets, not people. Like, you don't ever, like, you have to live with that. And the problem is that we got so many young people who can live with the fact that they just killed somebody, took somebody's son, took somebody's daughter, took somebody's father, and not care. Watch the news, laugh about it, all of that. Go to a funeral, try to take the body. Y'all see that? Like in Chicago the other day.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, you got people going into people's funerals trying to take the body out the casket to finish a person who's already dead off.
That's just pure disrespect.
Yeah, but we can't say it couldn't be our family. That would have been, it'd been a whole, like, everything would have changed instantly at that particular point.
And then some more caskets up in there.
It's crazy. Well, at least Nikki can keep them for you, Elias. That's insane, though, that they're taking that long, though. All right, guys, so we're going to jump off of here. Everybody have a great day. Keisha, your hubby should be home soon, so you can get some rest. Or did you get some rest? No. I know it's hard. I was like shocked. And he was like, because I kept saying y'all. And then he said me. I'm like, what? Wait, Keisha's not with you? Well, good thing, because I'd have been even more upset if I missed both of you guys. So dope. But have an amazing day. I'll see you guys, Reptiles and Cocktails, on Saturday. And of course, that's running down. Tuesday, we got Snakes and Vapes. If I mess that up, I always get or is it Beyond the Scales? It's one or the other, but check them out tomorrow I think it's 7 p.m. my time. Correct it if I'm wrong, Elias. And then just set your alerts, because that's what I do. I can't keep up with times. I just set my alerts for everybody's channels. We have Balls and Things, which is, hey, Balls and Things this Wednesday has my peeps, Tay and Dax, retic people, DNT retics. Please check that out. Great people in the community. Great people in the community. Check that out. You too, Jeremy. And then we have Thursday, Mike Hurt Collectors, which I really enjoyed the episode last week as well, 8 p.m. And then Friday, we're back 8 o'clock with hair down. If you missed this week's hair down, you had some egg cutting on there. Showed off some nice links. That's what, we always like to see. But yeah, check out your favorite podcast. Holly, I think it's Wednesday at 7:30. Make sure you check that out. Just support all your reptile people who support you. That's all I'm saying. You ain't got to support the ones who don't support you, but all the ones that do. Yeah. That's right. DNT Retics. I cannot wait. All right, y'all. Peace. We will see you later. Have a great one.